Let's get right to it without any preamble. Have you noticed it too? People are calmer, fewer outbursts, more clarity. And that's no coincidence. It's the energy entering our lives from the 1st of December. Today, finally, is that rare moment when I can come to you not with another warning, but with truly good news. After everything November put us through, a week like this feels like a breath of fresh air. And while this meeting may not be the longest, it will be that very point of support you can lean on as you enter December. You know, I always look at the background of the month, and to be honest, November was quite the ordeal. It was sticky, turbulent, loaded with emotions, as if you were tossed around by waves the whole time. First up, then down, then sideways to places you hadn't planned. For many, it felt like a long season of a dramatic TV series where the writers decided to test how much more you could handle. And if you ever caught yourself thinking, what kind of circus is this? Then you were in the same boat as everyone else. But that's it. Enough. That story is over. We're moving on from it, like leaving a bad play that we finished watching only out of respect for the time we'd already invested. Now you can exhale, shake off the remnants of the pointless plot lines, and calmly move into December. And December begins beautifully. Mercury turns direct. The most important news this week is Mercury. Right now, it's standing still, like a person who's reached the door but hasn't quite pressed the handle. On the 1st of December, it finally takes that step. It stations and starts moving forward. And with this shift, it's like the lights in your head turn on. That feeling that something was always interfering with your thinking finally disappears. The internal noise, that strange mental static that had us second-guessing everything 10 times in November and ending up nowhere, fades away. Clarity emerges. Structure appears. We can once again think rationally, calmly set priorities, understand what we want to say and why. Here's what's important. All November, Mercury's job was to wind up the events that began back at the end of October. First, it brought up the topics. Then it had us review them. Now, in the first half of December, it returned specifically to finish everything off. Not to start over, not to break things, but precisely to bring things to a close. Where there were unspoken words, there will be conversations. Where chaos reigned, order will be restored. Where there were mistakes, you'll finally see how to correct them. And you'll notice that from the beginning of the month, everything that had stalled starts to move. Conversations become more honest. Information becomes clearer. You'll find yourself looking back at November thinking, my God, what was happening with me? That's a normal feeling. It means your head is back in the right place. Venus leaves Scorpio. The second piece of great news is Venus. It's finally leaving Scorpio and moving into Sagittarius. Put simply, we're leaving the territory of the telenovela. If in the past weeks you were caught up in jealousy, heaviness, excessive passions, strange emotions, or felt compelled to dig deeper than necessary, wanting to prove something at any cost or force someone's secrets into the open, that was Venus in Scorpio at work. She adores intensity, drama, depth, and sometimes even outright darkness. But now we're entering a different state. Venus in Sagittarius means lightness, an interest in life, a bright sense of affection, the feeling that you want adventure, not drama, to travel, breathe, meet, listen, see, discover. It's the urge to live more broadly, to look further, to enjoy not what you've dug up, but what's ahead. The fire signs will feel this most vividly. Spirits will lift, the atmosphere will warm, and hearts will feel freer. But everyone will sense the shift. Where there was contraction, expansion emerges. Where there was heaviness, movement returns. Where there was suspicion, curiosity is reborn. Saturn turns direct. And here's another piece of news, one many people underestimate, but which changes a lot. Saturn stations direct. It's been retrograde since summer, and any process requiring maturity, responsibility, structure, discipline, everything has felt as if moving through syrupy air, slow, unpredictable, with constant delays. Now, that resistance is leaving. Anything related to serious matters starts to align. Projects that wouldn't budge finally get the resources they need. Approvals, agreements, important projects, challenging tasks all become less chaotic and more predictable. You'll feel the ground beneath your feet getting firmer, something you can rely on. This isn't a festive event. No, it's about calm. It's when, for the first time in a long time, you don't feel compelled to double-check everything because that sensation that everything's about to fall apart is gone. When you feel strength in your own boundaries, when you can exhale and say to yourself, okay, I can handle this. Mars-Saturn square. Of course, there's always a nuance. Right now, Mars is in Sagittarius, fast, fiery, impulsive energy. It wants to run, act, change, move. But Saturn is just now shifting direct, saying, wait, everything needs to be done wisely. This interaction can produce odd situations when you have a lot of energy and want to take a step forward, but circumstances won't let you go just yet. Or the opposite, you're irritated, but you realize you can't afford to react harshly. Don't treat this as a stop sign. It's not a prohibition. It's just a test. A little patience, and the road will open. The important thing is not to rush ahead as if you're being chased. Mars loves speed, but also loves mistakes, while Saturn can't stand them, so balance is crucial here. Full moon on December 5th. Now for the pleasant news. We'll have a very charming full moon on the Gemini Sagittarius axis. It's communicative, light, lively. It brings out everything human, social, and curious. These are the days when you'll want to write, call, share, laugh, discuss anything, make plans, and come up with ideas faster than you can write them down. This full moon is about movement and connection. It makes people open. It facilitates conversations. It brings an atmosphere of lightness. But if you have a serious conversation that's long been overdue, lightness may turn from a tool into a mask. Only you'll know. Is this a talk for laughter or for maturity? The full moon will help you relax, but it won't replace honesty. Conclusion. Here's what matters. The week from the 1st to the 7th of December is one of the most pleasant in a long time. We're coming out of chaos. We regain our ability to think clearly. Emotions stop tearing us apart. Venus brings air, Saturn brings structure, Mercury brings balance, the full moon brings connection and inspiration. This is a week when it's possible to live again, to plan, speak honestly, reach agreements, think, meet, discover new possibilities, fix old mistakes, and feel in control of your life. And finally, to relax. December starts off smoothly, calmly, and in a truly human way. After November, that's the best thing that could have happened to us. And remember, conscious intentions matter, but the right timing matters even more.